Hey guys, this is Mike from Chicago Prepper, and I wanted to share with you a survival kit that I created that's this small, so you could have this in your pocket if you're wearing shorts. You got cargo shorts, bigger pockets, that's fine. Otherwise, a regular jacket with a pocket will work just fine. Or if you're carrying around a normal backpack, when I say normal, I mean for like books for school or even a purse or whatever it is, you could easily throw this in. Now, you might be thinking it probably doesn't have that much in it, but you're going to be shocked, okay? So there's a typical standard list of 7 things that you need in a survival kit, which is food, water, fire, shelter, navigation, signaling, and first aid. And you might want to add protection to that. Now, the protection part is not in here, but I would suggest as a prepper, you are always carrying 3 things on your body as far as an EDC, which is a knife, a light, like a flashlight, and a lighter. Okay, those 3 things, if you ever watch any of these shows like Dude, I Shouldn't Be Alive, or any of those where people get stuck out in the woods, they get lost, they get a twisted ankle, whatever, plane crashes, car crashes, whatever, and they're alive and they're out there in the middle of nowhere. If they had a knife, a light, and a lighter, it would be a difference between life and death for them. But we're going to go not 1 step further, but 7 steps further, and we're going to have all 7 things in this one little pack, which is just going to blow you away as far as how much is in here. So first, when it comes to shelter, which is the biggest thing, this right here is not just a emergency blanket. This is a tougher material. Okay, you can get, I think, 3 of these for like $20 on Amazon. I'll put the link on chicagoprepper.com, where you can download everything in a PDF. Okay, but this is actually a bivvy, and you can get like 3 of these for $20, like I said. And I actually did a test personally with one of these when it was freezing cold out. We're talking like 20 degrees. I was wearing a t-shirt, shorts, and socks. And I went outside, and it was obviously freezing cold. The wind was blowing, and I stepped into this thing. I pulled it up to my neck. World of difference. Now, is it going to be a comfortable night? No, we're not talking about having a down sleeping bag and a nice thick, pad underneath you and everything else. We're talking about survival. So this is the crap hits the fan, and you happen to have just this kit. You've got survival covered. And even if it's raining, even if the wind is blowing, you could pull this thing up. It's tall enough to put it over your head and just have your face exposed in order to keep from getting hypothermia and getting soaked. So that's our shelter part. Next is signaling, and we actually have a couple things in here for signaling. But one of them is this signal tape. Now, this is actually 12 feet of signal tape, and you can use this for a few different things. One is, let's say you're lost and you're just waiting for people to come and find you. You would tie this to a tree as high up as you can get, preferably you can climb a little bit, and the wind will blow this thing like a kite around, and people from a distance will see it in the woods and, recognize that there's something that's man-made versus just, trees and leaves and bushes and all that good stuff. You can also do the same thing and then use this for a way to navigate to find out where you're trying to get to. So let's say, you're in the woods taking a walk and an animal chases you. So now you're like, great, I'm okay. I got away from the animal or whatever, but I don't know where I am, and I've been running for 5 minutes. Well, you can tie this thing up in the air on a tree, and then you can walk north until you can just barely see this. And if you don't see your car or the path or whatever it is you're trying to get to, you go back to this and you go east, and then you go west, and then you go south, and you just expanded your area where you know how to get back to at least where you were, which was within, say, 5 minutes of being lost, so that if you're going to hunker down, you're in a good position. But if you're trying to get unlost without making the mistake of just running around wildly, not knowing where you're going, you at least are not making the situation worse. Okay, so that's navigation or signaling, I should say. Next, we've got underwater. We've got pills okay, for purifying your water, and a Ziploc bag to carry that water in. Now, being able to carry the water is one of the toughest things to recreate if you have nothing in the woods. Okay, yes, you could start a fire and weave a basket and carve out something, but we're talking if you have nothing. A container to carry water is a tough one. So now this is a freezer Ziploc bag, so it's going to be more durable. And one of these, and I think it's actually 6 in this packet, is 1 liter. Okay, so fill it up with the creek or the stream, put it in there, wait for half an hour, and you have drinkable water that you can carry around with you. But we actually have more than that for the water in this kit. So there's that. Next thing we're going to talk about is this is actually multiple things here. So we've got navigation with a compass. We've got a signal whistle, okay, for signaling. And when you open it up, you also have a ferro rod. And I've tried this. It is small, it is a stretch. We have other ways of fire inside of here, but this is a good backup, okay? So you've got fire, signaling, and navigation all in one device. Very small, very cool, okay? Next, as far as fire goes, is a mini Bic lighter. Very simple. Always have one of these with you. Have one in your pocket or on your keychain, and you're good to go 99% of the time. Now the next, and you may or may not have seen these before, but instead of having something like cotton balls with Vaseline, this is hemp that's been impregnated with wax. And so what happens is, you take this end and you fray it out so that you can see the little hairs. And now, even if your lighter is out of gas, but you can still get a little spark from it, once you light this, it will burn like this. You can get your fire going with your tinder or whatever. And then when you're done, you simply slide this back over it and it goes out and you can use it again in the future. Okay? This will literally burn for a long, long, long time, like talking a couple of hours. So great form of tinder versus just trying to have something messy like Vaseline and cotton balls, which, let's say, if 3 of them, that's 3 fires. This is probably 30 to 50 fires. So next is we'll talk about first aid. And we have inside of here a couple of Band-Aids. We have non-aspirin and aspirin. And then 2 of the common things that are going to happen as far as first aid that's needed is an allergic reaction, okay, which we have a couple of those pills. And then also if your stomach gets upset from stress and everything else, diarrhea. So not what you want to have happen in a life-threatening situation. So we have both of those there. And again, the idea is this isn't like a bug-out bag. This is a crap hits the fan and I need to survive for a day or 2, okay? And then another thing as far as water goes is this is a water filter that you simply put the straw in here like a life straw and you put it in and you can drink right out of the creek or stream or whatever. Very small. I think this was $20 on Amazon, maybe even less. I'll put a link again at chicagoprepper.com in a PDF for you guys. And then the last thing in there is food, which is a Cliff Bar. Okay. Now, this is the least necessary thing in this pack, but if you're in a life-threatening situation and you're going to be spending the night, you'll be really glad to have a snack. Even though it's small, it's still something. It will still give you some energy, and it'll help you get going and think a little bit clearer for a few days. So all that fits inside of this tiny little pouch. If you're wondering where I got this pouch, I got this actually at a thrift store for 50 cents. So you don't have to use this. You could use a Ziploc baggie, which again, the Ziploc baggie can be used for carrying water as well. Or you can go to Walmart or Amazon or whatever and get like a pencil bag, a pencil pouch, like for school. And again, they're like 50 cents to $1, something like that. But this is small enough and discreet enough to have in any bag or any decent sized pocket. If it's spring or fall or winter or whatever, where you're wearing a bigger coat, and not take up much space. And you now have a full-blown survival kit. So If you like this video and you like this type of content, please let me know if you have any questions or suggestions in the comments, things that you think I'm missing or things that you think aren't necessary. I still want to hear your feedback. And thanks for watching. We'll talk to you in the next video.